All right, so DJ Akademiks goes and says he confirms that Drake runs to Atlanta when you need a few dollars.
You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars.
He's not a colleague, he's a fucking colonizer. He says Drake needs Atlanta. I'll let you hear it for yourselves.
Listen, everybody keep thinking that, Kendrick been a hater since he came out the pussy. Kendrick is just a hating ass nigga, right?
Cope.
Whether Kendrick likes him or Kendrick dropped 5 not like us, what Drake can't afford to lose is the heart and the core of Atlanta.
So does Drake even have the heart and the core of Atlanta? I'm not from Atlanta. I've only been to Atlanta a couple times. For those in the South, does Drake already have the heart and core of Atlanta?
And if him and Future were really going at it, I think all Atlanta artists would stay out the way. They would be like, yo, bro.
Which is kind of what they did. I mean, during this whole Kendrick and Drake beef, like guys like Lil Yachty and 21 Savage, Young Thug, they didn't come out in support of one or the other, Future or Drake. They kind of just left it alone. And Drake had all the smoke for all these people, Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, Metro Boomin, Kendrick, The Weeknd. He had smoke for all these people except for Future. Future didn't catch any of the smoke during this beef. And it was a Future song where Kendrick hopped on like that and then just raided Drake. But you have no smoke for Future? Why is that? I said that back then. Like, why does Drake like avoiding Future? Why is he dissing everyone else but Future?
Fuck with you, but we ain't going against Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And the most important thing I think Drake could do is to make sure, and that's why I keep saying the election.
Election?
Yeah, of course I don't want him to be like mad buddy with a nigga who clearly was trying to end him, whether you're trying to acknowledge it or not. But I do believe that Drake needs Atlanta. I do think he needs Atlanta.
See, and this is something that I wouldn't even say about Drake. And obviously, Akademiks is a huge Drake fan. I have never been a supporter of Drake's music, but I don't think Drake needs Atlanta. Drake is an international superstar. Whether or not he loses the small part of his fan base that intersects with Future, guys like Future and I don't call this man Lil Baby, Dominic Jones, and Lil Yachty, whether or not he loses that small portion, Drake is still going to go platinum regardless. He's still going to, tour internationally, or he's not American. He's still going to tour internationally, overseas and in America. Drake, this isn't like 1980s, 1990s New York, where all the media outlets are in New York. All the media programs are in New York. So like, you need New York somewhat to kind of get noticed. Atlanta, this is not that. Drake doesn't need Atlanta.
For what Drake does, Drake needs Atlanta. As a region, I believe he needs certain international influences. Like, again, you got to remember, Drake is like a behemoth that's this otherworldly type of shit. So when I'm saying that he needs these people, it's not need these people to just... For the reign that he has, which I personally believe Kendrick has been jealous that no matter how good he raps, he's not tapping into 1/5 of the audience that Drake does.
Kendrick is Akademiks saying that Drake has a bigger fan base than Kendrick. I would believe that.
And this is actually fact. No matter how much you like Kendrick, go look at the tour sales. Go look at the tour differences. They both did the same arenas. Drake made 3 times as much as him.
Well, if they're both filling the same arenas and they're both selling out the same arenas, doesn't that mean the same amount of people are going to their tours? One is just charging more or less for ticket prices than the other. If you sell out the same arena with the same amount of seats as someone, but you make 3 times the money, that means your tickets were more expensive or whatever is factoring into there. But 20,000 seats in an arena is 20,000 seats. If you sell it out, then 20,000 people came. No, I guess you could make the argument that the demand for Drake's tour was so high that it pushed his ticket prices higher. But I don't really care about numbers. Sure, Drake has the bigger audience, but Kendrick has like the critical acclaim, the Grammys and the Pulitzer Prizes for whatever it means to you. Again, I don't care about that either. But it's give and take.
Go look at every metric that compares him. Drake is like 5 times as much.
5 times?
That point. Well, you need to have certain places.
Let's verify that Drake has 5 times as much in tour sales Drake's All a Blur tour has set a new benchmark, highest grossing hip hop tour ever, which surpassed Kendrick's Big Steppers tour. Drake grossed 320 million across 80 shows. Kendrick grossed 110 million across 73 shows. Drake attracted 1.3 million attendees. Kendrick 929,000. So yes, Drake is more in terms of sales. He did 7 more shows, but it doesn't matter. It's still way more money per show. And he had more attendees. But this is not 5 times Kendrick. Drake surpassed Kendrick's total with just 30 of his 72 planned shows, indicating a substantial lead in revenue generation. I asked ChatGPT, why would revenue be higher if they sold the same sized arenas? Kind of what I was saying earlier. Yeah, like I said, ticket prices could be higher, VIP packages and add-ons, marketing brand appeal, show duration and frequency, merch sales. So pretty much what I was saying. Sometimes you gotta fact check a nigga real quick. You know what I mean? Shout out ChatGPT.
I think no one in hip hop could really go against Atlanta. Atlanta is just, you need Atlanta.
I would need him to explain, what do you mean by you need Atlanta? See, in hip hop, needing a city, there's only really been one time where that's happened. And it was like during the 80s and 90s when New York was the spot. All the media was coming out of New York. Yo MTV Raps, The Source, 99% of it, 90% of it was coming from New York. So yeah, you need to be on good terms with New York. Now, there are California artists who showed like, yo, you don't really need that. Like West Coast artists, their songs will be charting, their albums will be charting in other regions. Every region in America is represented in their charts except New York. It's kind of like a blockade New York was doing for some people. But then these California artists will still go platinum. Well, you can go platinum just in California. And then we got the South with us too. Like, we didn't need New York, but we still kind of needed them to a degree if you want to be a certain level of exposure to the mass audience. That is not Atlanta today. I just want to know what Akademiks means by you need Atlanta. I just don't know what he means.
Hip hop could really go against Atlanta. Atlanta is just, you need Atlanta. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's Akademiks. Of course, he's going to throw his little shots at Kendrick. I mean, that's expected at this point. I don't think Drake needs Atlanta. I think Drake has like these relationships with people where he's almost like he sees them as big bro.
What did I tell you?
You said that I can never let you down.
Which, you know, dudes calling each other big bro and that's not your bro, or dudes calling each other twin, little sus. But Drake seems like, like we've seen Drake, he's had these relationships with these type of people. LeBron James is one of them. And it would seem that Future is another one. Future does not get any smoke. Future drops 2 straight albums, just full of Drake guys dissing Drake. He's on the #1 song, hip hop song in America like that. Just allowing Kendrick Lamar to just defecate all over Drake, but he doesn't get any smoke. Drake disses everyone in the world except Future. So I don't think Drake needs Atlanta. Drake is an international superstar, but I think he would like to keep certain relationships alive. And I think Drake likes Atlanta. I think he would prefer to be in Atlanta's good graces. I think if Atlanta turned against him, it would hurt his feelings. Maybe because he spends a lot of time out there, he has a lot of connections out there, whatever the case may be. But career-wise, needing Atlanta, I don't know if that's true. I mean, Akademiks is a much bigger numbers guy than I am. He's a much bigger Drake supporter than I am. But I don't agree with that. Drake is an international superstar. He's going to do what he does regardless. So anyways, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Does Drake need Atlanta? Is Kendrick jealous of Drake's tour sales? I mean, we already fact-check Akademiks right here. Drake's tour sales are not 5 times Kendrick, like Akademiks alleged. They are substantially higher, though, but they're not 5 times, like he said. And there are multiple reasons why he would gross more, even though they're doing like similar sized arenas or the same arenas in some situations, which I already mentioned earlier, ticket prices and then other things. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.